For the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you bought today. Spoon TV. This one you bought today. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Okay, folks, what a way to welcome you tonight to another great edition of the program, Spoon Talk, right here on your radio, Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1 FM, Super 95.5 FM, and of course, on Spoon TV Live, all the different platforms of Fabric Live, and of course Spoon Talk Live on YouTube. My name is Nelson Colette. This evening, call someone, encourage someone to listen with you. As you know, Liberia's premier talk show is on your radio and online. Let me say good evening to you, Dr. Richardson, and good evening to James as well.
Nelson, and good day. Hello, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, I thought I'm muted. Good evening. I'm doing well. Come on in.
Yeah. Go and play April Fool on you?
No.
Well, today is April 1st, and everybody's having some kind of pranks going on today. But God is God. God be God. Nobody can fool God. So we are here today to invite others to speak about Liberia. I want to just thank you, Nelson, and good day for all that you do. It's going to be a great show. Share the show. Call a friend. As Nelson said, I want to join Nelson in asking you to please call a friend and tell a friend about the show so we can have a dynamic conversation today. I promise you, we're going to be talking about information that will make you more informed about the decisions that we have to make about our beloved country. So welcome again to Spoon Talk. Nelson, today is Saturday in Liberia. You guys usually tell me that things tend to be slow, but in my country, I don't know. So anything going on trendy that you would like to say?
Well, Dr. Richardson, one of the issues, one of the things that remains trendy until it gets to an end is the voter registration process. Liberians are still gearing up to register. We still see the queues in so many areas across the country, and people are gearing up and forming part of those queues to register. Then another thing that's happening is that a lot of the political actors are encouraging their supporters as well to form part of the process. It's happening from the media angle, even some civil society organizations as well. They're also encouraging folks to turn up to register to vote. Now, and now aside from that, there's been lots of pranks today as part of the regular April Fool thing, and of course, yeah. So it's Saturdays and Sundays usually a little bit quiet in Liberia, especially except for very few cases where maybe a group decides to protest or something. Yeah, but Saturdays and Sundays are just that way.
Good. That's good. Good day. Anything you would like to add? You want to weigh into the conversation?
No, basically that's all Nelson said.
Oh wow. Good day.
If just if we had Minister Fagon, yeah, you are going to say that James didn't follow the issues today. He's always
yes, because Mr. Fagon always, he always has issues that he brings to the floor. And so he would definitely say James did not follow the issues today.
James is standing today.
yes. Wait, Mr. Fagon is coming in. Actually, before we even go further, we'll be discussing this. Today is Mr. Fagon's birthday. And so Liberians, please join me in wishing Mr. Fagon, Honorable Former Minister of Information, Mr. Eugene Lami Fagon, a happy birthday. Oh, he was assistant minister right now.
He was the deputy minister for
president. Deputy minister. Actually, my husband just corrected me. He's listening as well. So he was the deputy minister of information.
Yeah.
Yes. Today his birthday, so you will join me in stating him and shouting out a happy birthday message to him. I also know that today is April Fool's Day. I'm not being pranked by anybody today. I know it is April Fool's Day.
I saw a lot of people resigning today. So many people wrote resignation letters and posted on social media today.
I know. I saw one very prominent person resign today it came across my timeline, but I'm not going to call any name. No, I'm not going to I don't have red shoes to go to court. So the panelists are going to roll in. We're going to have our panelists here today. Today we have guests that will be appearing here on Spoon Talk. You know that will bring you information that will contribute to the development of Liberia. So our guests will be female developers, women who are, from around the world in Liberia and outside of Liberia, who are making a difference in contributing to our country. They're making some serious financial difference to our country. So they will be coming in. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the elections. I'm seeing that, and I'm hearing you tell me, Nelson, that the line is long. People are standing in a longer than usual line to register to vote. Of course, we know long lines tend to be, everywhere. We can see that during the election period. But the extent to which people are waiting, in our country is the one that we will be paying attention to. We talked yesterday about Yeke Koluba talked about how he saw a text message from a female that went to the chairman Walu asking for people to come and vote in their interest. And you guys did report here, James Good, they did report that the female reported that her telephone got missing, so she's not aware or does not have any knowledge about the message that's coming from her number. So, that's the message that we have to report to you. But I believe that all Liberians should be vigilant in making sure that our fragile democracy progress. It doesn't, we don't want to go back to our past, the past of bad things happening in our country. I'm not even going to mention them. So we want to welcome all of you here to Spoon. I'm going to go into welcoming you until my panelists join us. James, good day. I believe they were starting tapes people sent to you, did they get queued up already? I think there were certain things in the chat room. Did anybody send them to you? Can you please follow up with it just to make sure? I believe there was something placed that I saw in there. So we're just going to welcome you today. This is your station, your radio station for you to be involved in the conversation here. Those of you who are in the commenting section, we ask you to participate, get involved, express yourself. And certainly, as I look over in that area, I'm going to probably be reading some of your comments as well. I want to welcome Roberta Riches. Roberta is watching. It sounds like a female, and we welcome female. This is a female-friendly station. I'm sure you know that by now, right, Nelson? You know that. I see you smiling. He's smiling. So it's a female-friendly station. So women are welcome to call and to participate. Sharon Mohadi is here. She is from Melbourne, Australia. So we get to vicariously travel. Thank you, Sharon, for being here. Deborah Kanka is also here. She's from Dupont Road, Painesville. Deborah Kanka is here. Adam Sheriff is also here. He said he's, I'm not even going to read what he said, but anyway, it's automatic. You read it, okay? Jay Fokpa Somo is here from ELWA Rehab Behind Charity School. Thank you, Mr. Fokpa Somo, for being here. Lei Fakapa Diomante, I know I didn't get your last name right. He says, Dr. Richardson, I'm here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Gayflower Mao is here watching from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Aloysius, it's really going by fast now. Pearl Campbell is here from Fayetteville, Georgia, United States. No SW Toll is from San Antonio, Texas. Thank you for joining us. Ruth Roberts Banga is also here from Crown Hill in Michigan. I'm sorry, Michigan. I'm sorry. Says Ruth, this thing keep on jumping, so I gotta get my eyes really attuned to it. Washington Soap is here. Thank you for joining us. We respect your view, Mr. Washington Soap. Thank you for being here. Wilson Kamara is also here from Cyprus. We thankful that you are here watching us. Charlene LIB Mina is here. Hi, Charlene. It's good to see you. Charlene is such an avid follower. She's been following us for a long time. Thank you. Share the show, people. If you're watching and you didn't take the opportunity to press that share button, please do that as soon as you can. The more we have people learning and knowing about the information we bring from Liberia, I believe the better our country will be, because then you can have a conversation with your family members and friends and let them know, listen, I heard this on Spoon. This is what's happening in the country. Evans Prince is here. Thank you for being here. D. Adolphus Zor is here from Los Angeles, California, the USA. Thank you, Adolphus, D. Adolphus, for being here. Derek Pay is here. Thank you for joining us. Francis Kadima, ELWA Junction, Painesville, is also here. George B. Blamo is here. He says, Dr. Richardson, how are you guys doing today? I believe Nelson, Good Day, and I are doing well. Thank you for joining us. Tommy Diaz is also here. Tommy, thank you. He said he's watching from behind White Flower. Joe A. Junius is here from Riverset. So Riverset's nice. Got places from all over Liberia. Thank you for joining us. Matali Mamadi Kruma is from South Korea. He's watching. Wow, we got South Korea, we got Cyprus, we got Australia. That is quite impressive. Spoon is all over. I'm telling you guys. Oliver F. Pay is from Plebo, Maryland. Another place that I heard that is very beautiful, the Maryland area of Liberia. Oliver, thank you for joining us. Call a friend, share the show, and of course, engage in the conversation. I did see somebody from UAE. Emmanuel Karoma is from Abu Dhabi, UAE. Emmanuel, thank you very much for being here. All the Liberians that are in UAE, please, thank you for joining us. Please share the show. John K. Wright is also, he tells me that he's watching Moses Horton is also watching. Romeo Borpia is watching from Ganta City, Nimai County, another beautiful place in Liberia. Liberia is such a beautiful country. We just don't know how beautiful our landscape is. There's so many. I mean, when I had the opportunity to travel throughout Liberia, you just go from Bunk County is very, very beautiful. I mean, driving from Monrovia to Bunk County, I mean, you just see the different mountainous areas, the greenery. It's very, very pretty. But even when you go away from the other side, of course, you know that I go to Cape Mount many times. The other part, the other direction, just seeing just the Lake Piso, the beauty of that area, and Liberia is just beautiful, just a beautiful place. Even in Monrovia, I mean, sometimes when you're driving on the single Bellway, I like to say Bellway, the single corridor, and just seeing like the ocean on both sides. Sometimes you like in the middle, like the water on both sides of Singer is really pretty. That many places you can go in the world and see that. So we got to be blessed. We have a blessed country. My husband and I we were engaging the conversation earlier, talking about the different agriculture projects that someone who's very serious about a government or someone who participated in government who's very serious about having us produce our own food, you will know the difference between what grows in the inland and in the lands that are surrounded by on the coastal land. And that's what the people study over here. They know exactly the kind of crops that grow on the inland part of the country. And there's certain crops that just can grow in sand, that area, right? Yeah. So those are the kind of things that we would have sort of monopolized right now, knowing the difference between what would grow where and be productive. Mechanized farming, not that small thing can be doing our whole plenty. In our mama have our own garden in the backyard. We still doing it. It's good. It's not bad. I still have a garden as adult as I am right now. But mechanized farming products for our country, making our own, products in the country, agriculture products in the country. James, please clue me in when our guests, when they get in the back. The guest is in the back. Thank you very much.
In the back.
Yeah. Okay, they are in the back. James, would you want to bring our guests in, please? I just didn't see the text that came in. Okay, great. I'd like to welcome you, Spoon viewers and listeners, to two of our guests. I was expecting three of you, but I think two made it so far. Is the other person coming, perhaps? I want to welcome Miss Louis Siawe to Spoon Talk, and I also want to welcome Miss Catherine Gibson. Catherine, I'm sorry I missed your call. I know you called me.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, but our mutual cousin. We have a cousin that we share actually.
Yes.
She filled me in.
Internet.
Yes. Welcome you guys to Spoon, and this is the premier talk show in Liberia. Miss Louis Yahweh, could you please just put yourself on mute for a second? We're hearing your conversation. Thank you. Thank you. So today's Spoon family, you know that we usually bring you information for who are making a huge sacrifice and contribution to our country. And so today we have Miss Louis Siawe and Miss Catherine Gibson, who are going to take some time. They'll be here with us for some time to introduce themselves, and the panelists will be rolling in as they're talking, but we're going to get started with the conversation and tell us what they're doing in Liberia. So I'm going to let you guys pick who wants to go first, because I'm sure you guys spoke about how you guys are going to have this conversation with Liberian people. I'll let you guys do that. I don't know who wants to introduce themselves first and introduce us to the project that you are doing.
Well, I'll start. My name is Catherine Gibson. I am an attorney in Atlanta. I have offices in Atlanta and New York. And, just growing up in New York, my father is Gribble from Maryland County. my mother Arthington, and they raised us, eating the Liberian food, eating fufu and soup, eating palm butter, but still instilling in us, our culture, our roots. And even though we weren't able to go because so much had happened in Liberia over the years, we still always learn about Liberian culture. And so as I grew up, started traveling all over the world, I always wanted to go to see Liberia for myself. And luckily, I was able to do that. And Miss Louise, Ma Louise, as I call her, former Minister Louise Siawe, made it possible for me to travel there, welcome me. And as you said, took us all around to Patawi, to, Arlington, all over the country. And so I fell in love with Liberia and I wanted to do something there. And so started a nonprofit, and we did our first project, which was to replace the Arlington sign. And then bought property in Marshall and decided to build what I'm calling Marshall Beach Club, which is a resort for the discerning traveler. Someone who understands how to feel welcome, to be pampered. And I just felt that Liberia needed a place where people knew how to provide service. Service is an art. And so Ma Louise embraced my idea, my vision. She was on the ground. She is my operations manager there for the Marshall Beach Club. And she allows me to continue practicing law as I build the resort. She works alongside our architect, Nancy Obi, who is supposed to be joining us, hopefully, and with our lawyer, Consuela Ganglo. And we are building this resort for Liberian people to enjoy, but also for people in the diaspora to come and enjoy and get accommodations on a level that they are used to. So that's what Marshall Beach Club is all about. And I can tell you more about it later, but I see my beautiful queen, Salamatu, joining us. So I'm just happy to be here with you all.
Thank you very much. Salamatu just joined us. One of our panelists is here.
Good afternoon, and I'm sorry I came a little late, but I'm glad to see all the women.
I know, right? That's a show of just all women.
Yes.
Doesn't happen.
Catherine and Louise.
Yes, doesn't usually happen. So I'd like to go to Miss Swawe, Miss Louise, to please introduce yourself to our audience and your role that you play in this development project.
Thank you very much. My name is Louise Siawe. I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. The attorney Gibson and I actually worked together. I was a broker in Atlanta, and back in 2012, I was called home to work, to be part of the government and in the tourism and the culture sector. So I performed the duty for 6 years. Liberian culture is very beautiful. We all need to embrace that, and we need to promote the culture. Culture is an act of what we do, what you eat, even your behavior in America is a culture because it's quite different from the African American and from the Asian American. That is your culture. So how can we promote that? Then back in 2021, I went back to Atlanta with a dream that the attorney Gibson had was many. She has so much to give to Liberia. But you see, 1,000 miles begin with one. So the one that we begin with is the Marshall Beach property. Marshall Beach property is going to be one of the first in Liberia. When you're in the U.S., you can buy a timesharing in Florida.
Wow.
But in Liberia, you don't have nothing like that. So we're trying to bring what we learn as you leave your country and come into another country like a Western world, what can we bring home? That we're not getting rid of our culture, but we just modifying what we have and bringing technology into the culture that we have. Just as simple. So the idea was birth, and today is a reality. And we want to say thank you. The Liberian people in Liberia, we are asking our children. You see, I am a product of Madame Gibson. My children were born in the US. So to trust me and follow me, not her biological parent. So I take that hat onto her and I said thank you to her. But we also want to encourage all Liberians born in the US, eating the palm butter, the cassava leaf, and all of the things that we do. It is very unique, but there's nothing like visiting Liberia. So we encourage our Liberian-born US citizen to come home and see the actual culture. The little that you taste, come and see what it looked like on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you don't mind me calling you Ma Louise, as you were referred to
I
earlier.
prefer that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ma Louise. We want to welcome you to Spoon. We appreciate you. I also see that the other panelist, Mr. Johnson, just joined the show. He's in his car. That's to tell you how dedicated he is to Spoon Talk. Thank you so much, Leo, for being here. And again, I want to just go over to Salamatu and to Leo to charm into this conversation. But before we do that, I just want to tell you guys thank you for your commitment and your service to Liberia. As I said, Catherine and I share a cousin, and she told me you were not even born in Liberia. This is what she said to me. She said, if you see Catherine was not even born in Liberia, but her love, and I also heard a little bit from Ma Louise, is your love for Liberia. Your love for Liberia is actually leading you to contribute to the country that your parents are from, as you said earlier. So thank you very much. If Catherine can do it, and she's not even born in Liberia, many others can do this as well. It's everybody, I think Ma Louise said the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. And that's kind of where we are leading to right now, contributing to Liberia. Catherine, you want to say something, and then I will tell them to comment, and then Leo will come in.
Yes. She was talking about food. That's my favorite topic. And I remember when I went to Liberia and I was at the hotel, she used to cook and bring my food to the hotel, and she cooked fufu and soup. And I began eating the fufu. I just went like, what is this in my mouth? Oh my God. So I called my mom on WhatsApp. I said, you have been denying me my whole life. What is this? What kind of fufu you were cooking in the US? She said the fufu is different in Liberia. And that is the truth. Food tastes so different in Liberia when you go to the market and you buy those lobsters and those shrimp and those crabs and the fruits and the everything just tastes different in Liberia. It's like when you come back, you don't want to even eat or shop in the US anymore. And so I want people to experience that, because so much of what we learn in the US is negative about Africa and Liberia. And, you get teased for your accent or teased for the foods that you eat. But when you come to Liberia and you see so many beautiful brown faces and doing such amazing things, no, it's not perfect, but I want to encourage people to come to your country, because it is your country, so come to your country, see what it's like. It's not scary. If you can navigate Manhattan, you can navigate Monrovia. Just hold your phone. They got a song for y'all, right? They say they check your bag, they check your phone. You just be like you're in New York, like you're in a city. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't wear too much jewelry out, but you can still go to Liberia. You don't have to be afraid, and enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Yes. Thank you very much. I saw Mr. Wozi shortly. I want to welcome him to the show, but Salamatu, go ahead. Please charm in to the conversation.
Okay, so once again, welcome to you, ladies, and congratulations on what you're doing. I think when we tell people to invest in Liberia, our first thought is foreigners. We think about foreigners. We think about big money. The person got to be super rich. So to see that you ladies were collaborating, number one, was exciting. I'm like, okay, again, when I talk about women, people can be like, oh, you want women, women, women. Collaboration is key, and doing investment that's substantial in Liberia is also key. I guess one of the questions that I have is that a lot of people tend to go into health and education when we talk about giving back to Liberia. But you ladies went into a field that you usually don't see women in, quote unquote, construction. You talking about Marsha Beach Properties. I saw the photos and was very impressed. I hope we have an opportunity to at least share what I share with the group. But why did you decide to go into construction or property management, I should say, as compared to the norm, education and health?
I'm a real estate attorney, and as Maloise shared, she ran a mortgage company, and I used to do all of her. And so we're just familiar with real estate, and it was just amazing that I was able to find a female architect and contractor.
Nice.
So working with her, she understands my work ethic and my work strategy, which is number one, I need to be informed in terms of what materials, how much materials, when they're needed. I need that because that's how you budget and forecast. And so when I was dealing with her male counterpart, he was more big picture. Just send me this much, I would do so and so. And that's not how I run a project. I need to budget and forecast. Construction is about timing. It's about how much materials, when the materials are needed, and how much materials are needed on the ground. You don't want to have materials sitting around because that's somebody else's payday. So you have to know how to buy materials, when to buy them, and how much you need. And she was willing to work with me on those details, where I think a man was like more so, don't worry about it. I got it. Just send me the money. I will do so and so. And that's not how I work. I love to work with women because they understand, I'm busy. I'm running a business here. I just need to get to the point. I don't have time for the, chit chat sometimes. So it's more like, this is what's going on. Don't worry about it. We got it. And sometimes we had one of our contractors with a cutlass on the site. I didn't even know. I mean, the man was just upset and angry, and they handled the whole thing and didn't hardly tell me about it until maybe a week and a half later. So I love working with women. Not that I love my men too. I love all of my men, my African men. But I just feel with working with women, we can really execute and get things done and push things ahead and have detail-oriented conversation. So I see Miss Louise dropped out, but that's why we got into construction, because that's my background. That's her background. And also, as I said, travel so many places. So as soon as I come into a place, I know what it's like. It's going to be a good experience. They welcome you with a smile. The sheets are a certain way. The room looks a certain way. The amenities are a certain way. And sometimes I think in Liberia, when I've gone to big name places there, and the people treat you so bad, it's almost like, do you want me here? Do you want me to spend my money here? Or it's like, go so, move. It's like, are we arguing? Are we fussing? I'm here to give you business.
You know exactly what you're doing.
So I believe accommodations in Liberia, because it just takes so long to get somebody to come and give you a room key, or they don't want you to drive in their parking lot. That's not the way you treat people when you want them to come and come again and come again. So we want to offer that service of pampering and welcoming for our guests.
Thank you so much. I see panelist Al Hussein Fadigar is here. Thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Spoon Talk, please share the show. We're talking about female developers who are contributing to the development of our country. I want to go to Leo Johnson. Leo, please ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Richardson, and good to see you, Catherine, and congratulations on your initiative in Liberia. I think this is a perfect example of what can happen.
You getting some kind of background, some kind of noise from you.
From me?
Yeah, from you.
Yeah, he not put his suit on again today.
Yeah, you had a New York shirt on, Leo, but you wore it too early.
Is it better? Or
It's
still
better,
bad?
much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
So great, thank you. And I come in early with me and gang up on me on issues, so I will take my time. I got my man Al Hussein Fadigar here. I got some support. So, but no,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Catherine, and congratulations, and man, Luis as well. Congratulations on the drive. I know how much discipline, how much time it takes sometimes from thinking these things to when it comes to fruition. Sometimes it may take up to 10 years of just navigating and trying to figure it out. So thank you for staying the course. My question is going to come from here. I have been very concerned. I like to call it the first return in the 1800s when Africans were going back to what is now called Liberia. That was a horrific return because it went back as them trying to figure out and find themselves when they went back, which was more of they had an ideology of what they thought they wanted the place to look like. And we know everything that happened and it wasn't managed properly. And a lot of things ensue after that on all fronts. And we saw what happened. Now that I like to call this the second wave of those of us who have been blessed to come to the diaspora or be born here or have been born here to go back. Liberia does not have character when it comes to construction. We come to the West, see these big box houses that the people build here. We go to Liberia and build these makeshift mansions when you walk around that has absolutely no character with the culture and the place and everything else. So as you think through this journey, someone like yourself going through this, how do you see yourself trying to figure out how can we bring the Liberian traditional culture and styles of building out in the ways we're doing this type of construction rather than just imagining New York or imagining wherever else to try and just transplant it in Liberia? How can we start to infuse? When I go to Ghana and pass by the Jubilee House, which is the new presidential palace, I see the Ghanaian stool. The traditional Ghanaian stool is what the Jubilee House is designed after. Even a child selling in a wheelbarrow passes by that building, something about it is in their identity that they can identify with. Is that something you've been thinking about, or is that something you're looking at? I know you're still like working your way through this, but as you kind of go through this, because personally, I've been yearning to see the day that architects, construction managers will start to think about what is this place? How do we start to represent it in the things we see around us?
That's a very good question, and I do think about that a lot. And I've been to the museum in Monrovia there, and I've seen how the city used to look years ago, hundreds of years ago. And there was a city planning, there was a style, there was a street layout, there was a way that they built using these old colonial style homes. I've been to like Ardington. I say Ardington with a TH, but I know the people in Ardington, look at Dr. Richardson, look at me. You ought to say Ardington.
Yeah, we say Ardington. Where we from?
Ardington. I've been through there, and you can see the ruins of these old houses. Can you imagine they burned down these houses and still the structures are still there? The actual structures of the building still standing. So there's a way to build futuristically or modernly with still giving the character. We call our area the Wode Beach, which is a Gribble name, still introducing people to the cultural concepts of Liberia and also building for the future as well. So yes, you can balance the two and still have, not try to take away your traditions, because at the end of the day, if that was the case, you can just build something here. You want to honor the tradition and the culture, but you also want to be able to bring it forward and have people who are not used to being in certain environments to come there and be comfortable. Even you, Leo, and you, Fadiga, now that you have been living in the diaspora, when you go back to Liberia, it takes time to adjust to certain things. You know, we want to be able to still offer you all of those amenities that you're used to in Liberia. And why not? They do it in Nigeria. They do it in Ghana. They do it in Sierra Leone. Why not Liberia? What is different about Liberia?
Thank you. Thank you for answering that beautiful question. Before we go to Al Hussein Fadiga, I just want to take this time to actually welcome our cousins here. We share cousins, Boyman Blake and Kutina Stewart. If I don't recognize them, I think they will probably be calling me soon. So I just want to say that I see them on the live feed here to support you, Catherine.
Oh, thank you.
Because I don't usually see them watching our show, but I'm sure they're supporting you. So Kutina, I'm sorry, Kutina, I was calling my cousin. Fadiga, go ahead, please ask. Either Ma Lewis is now back with us, or either Miss Gibson, Counselor. Your question.
So slow.
Yeah, the internet in Liberia. I don't know where she is in Liberia, but
yeah.
Miss Gibson. Well, I want to congratulate you first for your initiative. I've started a couple of things that are in Liberia. One of the first problem that you encounter, we all encounter, at least I know most of the people that I do know have encountered, is corruption. Whenever you want to start a project, the first thing is they either carry the price of how have you been able to mitigate that, especially knowing that this aspect of our culture, it has been normalized to the point that people don't see it as anything. So most projects either go above budget, below. How do you manage those guys in that environment? That would be my first question.
It's true. And then it's sad because the inflation rate in Liberia is already 20%. Then you have an invisible tax. Everywhere you do business, you have to leave something there. You have to, my Christmas on you. You have to do all these little small things. And that's an invisible tax on top of what people already have to pay. Is overpriced. But one of the things that Ma Louise and I do is we do price lists. So if they need a bag of concrete or cement, I know where it's $9. I know when it's $9.50. You know, if they need they call it Wawa. If they need 2x2, 2x4, I have a price list and I've generated where these things are, where they cost, and I know exactly what, if we have time or if we have to run and grab something, how much things are. So having trustworthy women who will be transparent about pricing is what you need. If not, like you said, they're gonna say, "Oh, this is $9.50. This is $10.50." You know, we always add transportation on things. So having control of your budget, knowing how much things are, and asking them ahead of time, how much do you need and when do you need it? That's the key. If nobody wants to work with you, especially, you know, people want to bring up prices or that's not the person to work with. And you have to move on, because you know, you can't waste money on construction. If you waste money, the project grows, takes longer, takes more, and you never get to the end. So that's how we've done it. You know, I understand, and these are the things that, like you said, and I hear you all talking about this on the show. You should really lower the barriers in Liberia for small business to do business. Why, when I go to the bank to take my own money, I gotta leave something there? You know, what is that about? That's slowing the process, I think, for small businesses to invest.
Catherine, when I say it, they say that the Liberian way. When I say we should change it, they say I don't know Liberia like the Liberian way.
but Liberians are also losing money too.
Yeah.
It's not just me. They're doing it to you, and they're doing it to people who have children who already don't make enough money. Then when you go to the bank, sometimes you go to the bank or you go to the ATM, no money today, or these are the things that we experience that we have to and Miss Louise has taught me to just be patient. This is Liberia. You have to be patient in this area or that area. I think demanding excellence in their construction work, or we're not going to pay you. When they did the well and they showed it to me, I said, you cannot leave the base like that. It's not finished. Oh, well, that's how we do it here in Liberia. No, I'm not paying you. I'm not paying them. Don't
Yeah,
pay.
yeah. No more like any of y'all cash you're saying Liberian way on this show. No more Liberian way.
Okay.
Right? We're not going to pay you. Period.
Thank you.
Fix it, and they know how to fix it. They fix it, and they get their pay, and then we're done. So demanding excellence out of Liberians instead of taking that, oh, that's the way how we do it here. Or no, but it's not going to be done here. So we have to make sure, because people want to see beautiful things when they come on vacation. So demanding excellence, like you said, and telling them they can't get paid until it's done the right way is how they will perform and do better the next time.
Thank you.
Can I go? My last question. I got one more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know. The houses that you guys are building, are they for commercial? Are they to sell?
And James, we have pictures. I sent him pictures. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are going to be places where you can come and stay. You can bring your family. They're 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhome, and they connect in the middle. So you can have one with 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or you can have a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. You can bring a large group, or you can just come with your immediate family. And these are not for sale. These are for you to come on vacation. Then we have, a fine dining area. We call it the Wode Beach wine bar, where you'll have fine dining. And then you'll also have a spa, where you can get pampered, get your hair cut, get a nice shave, or get a massage, get your hair done, get your nails done. We have a coffee bar where you can have your cappuccino, your espresso. And then we have a large house. It's like a mansion where you can, have film, videos, or you can rent it for your event, your marriage, your wedding, your anniversary. Or if you just want to ball out for the weekend, say, live like a superstar, you can rent that house out and have the whole house to yourself. And then we have a beach bar and grill where it's more relaxed dining setting, live music, grilled fish, plantain, live music there. And you can also have your wedding on the beach if you want. So those are the features of the Marshall Beach Club.
Great. It looks.
And this is located in Marshall, right?
Marshall.
Yes, this is in Marshall.
Great initiative.
Yes, awesome. I want to circle back to you, Salamatu, if you have your other question to ask.
Yeah, Miss Fadiga went ask one of my questions, but yeah, two questions. Well, I have two questions. One, are there plans for other similar projects in other places in Liberia? And two, are you encouraging, or how are you encouraging other Liberians to come and invest? The real invest, not traveling money and then go, but invest.
Yes. Well, when we start the Marshall Beach Club, we want to tour. Like Dr. Richardson was saying, there's so many beautiful places in Liberia. You have Providence Island, which has a lot of history surrounding it. Then you have Patawi, you have Blue Lake, you have Nimba Mountains. I mean, this is what people go all over the world to see. My brother Boima, when he drove me down Mamba Point, I mean, the vista is so breathtaking. You ever see Colombia, Cartagena's, the Indias in Colombia? That's what people go there in droves to see. But Liberians too, you know, like, why do we have trash on our beaches? And why can't we take these zinc sheds that are dilapidated and remove them from where we have the most beautiful vistas? Because that's what's going to bring travel into the country. So hopefully, Liberians, we can do some city planning and zoning, you know, around. If you're going to remove people, make sure you place them somewhere or give them somewhere to live. But these are places that are going to bring people in. And so my brother and I, we were talking about Cape Mount, and he said that that's a beautiful location. I've never been, but that would be another, possible destination. People love the mountains and hiking. And so if we can have a nice juxtaposition between the beachy areas and the mountainous areas, then I think that would be a great mix, to choose from. So those are the things that I'm hoping to do. How would I encourage people to invest? Well, for example, we did the Arlington sign, and my great grandmother, Missy Turkett, raised all of her grandchildren in Arlington. She was a hard-working woman, and when my cousins drove me into Arlington, I saw the sign. It was rusted. And I said, that woman's being so proud. I can't see how she would allow this to happen if she was alive. And so what I would do is, say, do what your hand can reach. You don't have to impress anybody. We replaced the sign. That was what my hand could reach. Do what you can do. The school still needs a roof. Quintina works with the Arlington Redevelopment Group. They do things for the school. They replaced the library and they put a library in the school. You will be surprised what are the things that we tried to do a remote. Ma Louise went there to do a remote learning center. We wanted to have video screens so that we could beam in teachers for the students. But before we can do that, we got to fix the roof. It's raining inside the school. The students are sharing chairs and desks. So these are things that need to be done before we could even think about putting in a computer center. We need to put locks on the door. So if you want to invest, you can find a group that is doing projects. I have a group. I have a company, a nonprofit, where we've identified needs and, a trusted group that are going to execute and get it done. If you don't know how or you don't know who to contact, then you can contact us or you can contact someone But I will say trust is something that we have to develop, because a lot of time we as Liberians think about it short term. What can we get? What can we get? What can we get? As opposed to thinking about long-term relationships. And so when you invest, they take your money, you don't hear from them no more. I've hired like 4 or 5 lawyers in Liberia. I don't hear from them anymore. Luckily, I have Consular Gongo now, but you might get bitten a few times, but you will find someone who you can trust and who can work with you. But do what your hand can reach. I will tell you, identify something small, execute on that small thing, and then build from there.
Thank you so much. I'd like to welcome Colonel E. Remy Gray to the show. I was going to go to him to ask his question. I also know that Louise has been having some trouble coming in and out, because I think she's coming out of Liberia. But before you ask your question,
it's not a question. She mentioned, Catherine mentioned somebody. Did you see her brother with Boyma Gibson?
Yeah, Blake.
Did you say Boyma?
Boyma Blake.
Oh, Boyma Blake.
Oh, Boyma, that your brother?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's my brother.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry. I want to ask if Ma Louise want to chime in, and before we go to Colonel Remy Gray for him to ask his question. Ma Louise,
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, because I know the computer has been giving you
Wow.
some challenges.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me. I've been having a series of problems of coming in and going out because the network is really, really bad. We have two type of network. We have the Orange network, and then we have the Teco network, which is the Wi-Fi at my place. But both of them really, really acting up because they rained heavy last night. However, just as she said, start off small and work your way out. One thing I can tell you, as a former minister of culture and tourism in Liberia, I traveled many countries, places that it said that it could not be, and it did. It is the will of the people that can make the development. In Liberia, we put everything on the government to do it. In the Western world, business people drive the economy.
Yes.
In Liberia, government is the major employer. We should change that dynamic. That idea that Ms. Gibson came to Liberia to do, today we have employees that are on her payroll. Even the day labor, they get salary and they get money and they go home to their family. That development. I'm not a politician anymore, but I used to be. Once a politician is always a politician. But the only thing I can make an appeal is together we can build Liberia. No matter what government come and go, we were there, were in the chair, sitting down as minister, but with no support from business environment. As Liberian, today Lebanese control the major entertainment in Liberia. Lebanese control the hotels, the resort. Sad to tell you, the young man that made that my area, I saw him walking on, I think it's Kerry Street. I was in a car. I just came from the U.S. I live in the U.S. for 50 plus years. Then I said, I love that guy music. The music was playing. Then the person said, but yes, the guy that walking. That really broke my heart because we don't take culture serious. That my area, that music make the headline in this country. Guess who has the right? An Indian guy. He paid a guy $500. Today, he's still making money. When Lone Star use it, when politicians use it, when Orange use it, only the Indian guy get a royalty, not this guy. Now, why can't we as Liberians, the fact that we may not trust, but we have to begin somewhere. So tonight, I am making an appeal. Marshall Beach is a very good example of how we as Liberians can take control and build Liberia. Because in order to build, you must love the country where you came from. Now, if we say Liberia, everybody say, that place there, it is your place, and no one else. And I really want us to think this and think about how we can come together. For Lebanese to build a business in Liberia, there must be a pool of business. There may be 10 of them. They put money together. And when they get to the bank give them money. When Liberian business go borrow money, they tell them no. Not because they prejudice against them. Liberians do not pay debt. Ask a friend of yours to give you $10 and ask that he will pay you in 10 days. Now, he will not pay you. That is our culture, but we can change that. So we have so many things to talk about. I cannot take a lot of the time to talk about this. All we can talk about is development. I want to tell you something about when I was Minister of Culture. When I was Minister of Culture, if you go on Google UNESCO World Heritage, Liberia was not on World Heritage. Liberia is still not on World Heritage. But what we did was we created how many tourism site, World Heritage site in Liberia. We did not have that. We did not have inventory. We put together, with the help of a young guy from the state of Florida, he came to Liberia to teach at Maryland County University. He said, I could help you. That guy put a backpack on his back. He went from county to county. He brought in 64 tourism sites in Liberia. We submitted 6 of them. World Heritage paid us to do the research. Patawi Waterfall were part of that. Patawi Waterfall did not pass. For simple reason, there is no access to waterfall, to Patawi Waterfall. No access. Meaning that road network is bad.
Oh, wait. Patawi. The sign.
Patawi.
When you,
I know that experience.
What does the sign say? 10 minutes?
10 minutes. It took
15
all
minutes?
that's
It's a
right.
tough road through the Patawi.
Yeah.
You have to
And
drive
it's beautiful.
miles
Once
per
you get there.
hour.
Yeah.
Can't go slow.
Then
can't go
Providence
slow.
Island, they said
11 miles.
Gabriel Tucker Bridge went over Providence Island, so it cannot be World Heritage. We beat the R. We put Providence Island on there. Le Piso, it is one of the beautiful scenery in Liberia.
Yeah.
Le Piso in Kidma have 5 rivers that feed into Le Piso. Le Piso feed into the Atlantic Ocean. But guess what? It did not pass. You know why? Only Lebanese man have a boat. He is the only one that can ride you on Le Piso. So World Heritage said they cannot give the right. They asked me. I said, I will not give the right to a Lebanese, as long as I'm Minister of Culture and Tourism. I would rather give it to a Liberian management, but not a Lebanese. The Lebanese is still there. Manimba on the side of Guinea is on World Heritage. On the side of Ivory Coast is on World Heritage. Liberia is not on World Heritage. UNESCO World Heritage accepted Manimba. You know what left for Manimba and Providence Island to have been World Heritage site that you had to pay to go there? $20 million for each center, the site. Providence Island could get 20 million. Manimba will get 20 million. When they hear the word of 20 million, that is a history. We cannot go into that. But what am I saying?
Oh, know what you're saying.
I am saying to you,
my Louis,
I am saying to you, it is only us and only that can build Liberia. If somebody in the US that have the interest in Le Piso, you bring a project of what Marshall Beach is doing, we can visit World Heritage because it's Liberian owned. Manimba, the forestry industry at the management of Manimba, they call that natural reserve. When they gave 500,000 to the villages that are underneath the mountain, they told them they cannot hunt, they cannot fish, they cannot farm. Today, Nimba Mountain is being supported, but it has not yet reached to the point where they can get the money. Like I said, there are so many opportunities in the tourism.
Amen. Malouis, the internet.
Malu are talking something, yo.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know, Providence Island, right now, they should be going under a project with, I know the U.S. government, the U.S. Is also helping to sponsor it. The same organization, foundation that restore Water Park, Central Park in New York. So they're the ones that are doing it. They started from the perspective of the history on the island before the settlers even came. And I mean, it's so interesting when you start to hear our history. You know, a lot of people have this mindset that, oh, nothing was happening in Liberia and the settlers came and they just bulldozed away. That's not true. The people who were on the ground was actually just well exposed because the Portuguese have been there, the French have been there. They were trading with other countries before the settlers actually came. So when they went to negotiation with the settlers, they weren't, you know, these people who knew nothing. But it's just an interesting history in that they gathered the information just from right around in the area. You know, some of our elders who are still around. But it's interesting, you know, when she was talking about, you know, the tourism place. And one thing people have to understand is that, yeah, we do have somebody put a word there, say we just got these predators and these corrupt predators in government that are blocking a lot of things that should be happening to Liberia, for Liberia in a collective way. Meaning things like tourism, the money isn't upfront. It comes in different ways, and it sort of trickles down to the real people, the people that are on the ground. It's not one of those things where you say, okay, I will give you some kind of contract, you give me lithium, and then I give you the contract.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's interesting.
Yes.
One thing I want to tell you, investment in the technology business in Liberia, telecommunication and network, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma Lewis. I want to go on to Remy Gray because we only have another like 5 minutes with our guests here today. I know many Liberians who want us to talk politics, but this is politics as well. Okay, in order for this project to carry on and be successful, they have to abide by the laws and rules of Liberia. They have to engage in marketing, and marketing relates to the laws and rules of Liberia as well. So I want you to continue to share the show and enjoy the show. I'm enjoying it. Colonel Remy Gray, please ask your question, please.
Hi, ladies. It's good to hear that Blakey Blake or Blake Carrington got a sister as beautiful as you are.
Are you trying to pay that? No. Yeah.
Boyma is a bad boy. We'll pay that.
He's not a bad boy. He's not a bad boy.
Anyway, ladies, it's exciting when you talk about tourism and you see people who have hands-on, you know, discussing the issues. This sometimes can be a unifier of a so divided nation. I know there are a lot of things we have that we don't cherish. Where I live here in Minnesota, lots of people queue every day, every weekend, every day for Liberian food. We got some unique food menu that people just die for. And no matter whether they speak Spanish, American, but they will learn how to pronounce Liberian dishes.
Kasali.
I like to hear white people calling tteokbokki. You know,
that's my favorite.
huh?
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
You know, so much. But one of the things I wanted to touch on is this our cultural artifacts. And the late Bai Timo was a pioneer in collecting some of our very good historical artifacts, relics, things that will be placed in museum. I haven't heard much about our museum development since his death, since his passing. We had that one small place on Broad Street there, and then after that, I don't know why we came about. I think they moved them to the archive, National Archive. I don't know, but
No, they actually did the museum.
I
did. Yeah, we have the archive, but they did work in the museum. They did kind of clean it up. People are going there. Actually,
no, not even cleaning up. During my administration as a Minister of Culture, I wrote and I got a grant, and that grant came to us for $1.5 million. Out of that $1.5 million, I put $500,000 at the museum. UC Johnson did a complete renovation of the museum of the idea that I wanted. That means that every artifact should be in a glass case. Baltimore Center is still Baltimore Center in clay.
Yeah.
People go there and visit his grave. Peter Ballard was buried next to Baltimore. We do visit. It is a place of tourism site in Liberia because of the history that Baltimore brought and gave to Liberia, what he did for the country. So he is still, yes.
So my heart was broken when we gave out Kendeja to a project
Yes.
that is not even, I wouldn't say it's yielding any much benefit to Liberia, meaning the LJ Center or wherever it is, the small hotel. But that sacred ground that we gave up made some of us very attached to our culture then, because we used to visit Kendeja to see some of our traditional, first class traditional values. But they gave that out. And my question is, did we move that site to someplace else where Liberians
Yes.
or tourists can come and visit and see how we do things the Liberian way?
Yes. When we sold Kendeja to Bar Jones, we bought 52 acres of land in Marshall in Benton. It is there that we supposed to build. We went in with the 52 acres. Like I said, during my administration, for some reason, I write a lot of projects. Coming from Atlanta, we know how to do certain things that can make people to listen to you compared to you have to have passion for what you do. So if you have a passion, you will look for whatever it takes. So the $1.5 million, out of the $1.5 million, this is how I was supposed to spend it. We, as the government, $500,000 went to the museum, which it did a good job. $175,000 supposed to go to Birmingham County, to the center there. Then $125,000 supposed to go to Maryland County Museum, one of the beautiful buildings in Liberia is in Maryland County, but it really down. The bottom money was supposed to go to Benton, the National Cultural Center, which is 52 acres of land. We did small stuff, but government come, government go. My 6th year will finish. But with my 6th year, my 6th year ended. So when my 6th year ended, I opened an NGO. I continue to work with the Ministry of Information through UNESCO and to bring back the dream and the aspiration that I like to see Liberia become, which is building our culture center. With that, UNESCO has a problem for Liberia. In order for UNESCO to pay to build, one must pay our due. We signed a treaty called, when we sign, we go for the meeting and we sign the program under UNESCO. When we come back to Liberia, we do not ratify the law called convention. 1972 convention had to do with tourism. With us signing the convention, you come back to your country, you ratify it, it becomes law. When it's law, UNESCO then will pay the money to build whatever thing you want it to be done. But we don't ratify. We have 7 conventions and 2 protocols. None is ratified in Liberia. So we cannot blame international organization for what we don't have in Liberia. That's why I'm making an appeal that we as Liberians, we can come in and start working. And together, if we put our hands together, like Ms. Gibson said, the attorney Gibson said, she started with the dream. And it just started with one bundle of zinc. That's just what we did. One bundle of zinc. But today, that Bono de Zin, you can see the picture for yourself. And hoping that 2024, we will be getting our first guest on the Marshall Beach. That is to show you that we all need to have that passion to build Liberia, not depend on others to say, this is what we're going to do. If we as Liberians come together and say, look, government ratify the convention, this is what we're into. We are into tourism. We are into the culture sector. Ratify. They will ratify. It doesn't take money to ratify. It only takes human being, us, to make that happen. That's all. I think.
Emma Louise, let me just hang out with this question quick.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you, Miss Gibson. Did I hear you calling her Attorney Gibson? And one of the problems we have in Liberia right now is the fact that I've not seen any legislation separating the tourism from the Ministry of Information. It seems as though they are still the same. They are intertwined. But without an act of legislation that would give the tourism a special law within our body of laws, one will always say if you go for like issues like eminent domain, you talk about Cape Mount County and Lake Piso, beautiful tourism scenery, but our traditional people hold so much to their land, they will not let anybody come closer to them. And so as a result, when you have a project that is national, that will even youth in the future, they tend to stand in your way. So have there been any attempt to have an act of
I'm not all for
legislation creating the Ministry of Tourism or the tourism and cultural affairs as a separate entity from information?
I did not really get a question because I went off. The Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism are under the Ministry of Information. They are one ministry. Back in 2014, they were a treaty that said that the tourism should go on their own and become an entity. Well, in order to do an entity, you need people who have passion to take on the project. That was 2014. So people like Baku Totman name was mentioned to take over the tourism sector. However, it did not materialize. So the tourism is still under Ministry of Information. Culture will always remain under the Ministry of Information, but tourism will have to go one day.
Yeah, let me answer that question.
That was my question. That was my question. Whether there's a law separating the two.
Okay, currently there is no law, but there was an act written.
Yes.
And when we talk about government as continuity, people seem to want to slap us in the face. There was an act written, and usually when you have these things, you also got to have lobbyists. All of us very familiar with America. When somebody draft a law, you got to have somebody to run behind it. You got to have somebody to lobby to pass it. But there was an act that, and I literally would look on my old computer to see if I have because they even drafted a tourism strategy.
Yes.
And I was on there. It was the International Trade Center. And I was one of the people on there along with Baku Tutma, May Yuri. And I think at the time, Jackie Kiba was at the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Tourism and Information. And the focus was to look at Liberia and say, okay, we're going to focus on these sectors of tourism, these value chains of tourism. And one was the historical aspect. So what Amalu is talking about, like the Bati Moore Center, the museum, you have people that had money for that. Then they also look at the ecotourism. That's where, like the Sapo National Park. And we actually had the opportunity to go to Sapo National Park. And I think I was telling you guys, about how we went in the middle of the forest, and all of a sudden we just start seeing all these Chinese nationals, right? Yeah, which were very shocking to us. But and the issue was again, separating what was reserved and where the hunters could hunt. Because one of the meetings that we had with the hunters, they didn't want to tell us that they can actually. We were trying to find out what type of animals were in the forest, and they didn't want to say anything because they were hunting in the parts that they weren't supposed to be hunting, and they thought they were going to get in trouble. So we had to convince them that we're not here to get you in trouble. We just want to know what type of animals are here. They had experts there with us, and we found out that these hunters are able to call the different animals in the forest. So if they want what it had the not the hippopotamus, the buffalo, those animals, yeah, if they wanted to there was a way they can call it. So they were there naming different animals that were in the forest. So you got echo, you got wildlife, Sapo, and then you have the beach. Surfing was one of the key area that people wanted to invest in because of robber sport. I don't know if we paid attention just before Ebola. Robber sport was starting to be the place that surfers started to go. They had one festival there, and then Ebola happened. I want to battle it can't finish. By the time Ebola happened, our whole thing, everything went down. But we have the things in Liberia. It takes people. I mean, you got somebody like Malu who is passionate about it. She's not only passionate, she's knowledgeable about it. You need these type of people in that area, but unfortunately, we got people in all kinds of corner that they would literally work twice as hard to stop whatever's happening. To get a law passed is not an easy thing. People think it's easy. It's not easy. I mean, I can tell you stories, but it's not easy. So we need passionate people. And the reason why we try to get people to invest in things like the property management, where you actually have a physical structure on the ground, you will mind it better than when you take your money and you send it to your cousin for your cousin to go to the hospital. Not saying you can't send money to your cousin, but if that's your way of investing in Liberia, it's not going to work. We need people who will invest in physical structure, so that way the way it is to start a business in Liberia. And if you're frustrated, guess what? Then you will start getting more involved in how government is operating. This is why we always look for people with.
I know Jack, we gotta go, but I have work.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes. Thank you, Salamatu. And I will go to you, but I just want to state that this is a beautiful show. We definitely look forward to having Miss Attorney Catherine Gibson and also Ma Louise, who comes with a wealth of knowledge. Again, I'm just astonished by your brilliance and what you know about our culture. So thank you so much. We'll take one more call from Fadika, and then we're gonna go to our attorney Catherine Gibson to do her closing, and also ask Ma Louise to also do their closing, because we do have another segment of the show. Obviously, the politics of the day we have to discuss before we go home today. But we this is also another degree of politics as well. So Fadika, go ahead. Please ask your question. And you can say to either one.
It doesn't matter. Either you can answer. We just had a bicentennial, or how they call it, and people came and went. For a business like yours, I don't know your target audience. Most time, I will assume that people from the diaspora that will be coming. How do you intend to get those people to come back to Liberia to enjoy the beautiful thing? Because one of the things that puzzles me, Liberia is the first country in Africa. This is a country that every black person on earth should be paying pilgrimage to. And it's not happening. People going to Ghana. They're going to South Africa. They're going to play well. We have a wealth. I mean, just our history alone, I think is wealth. Just the fact that we are the first nation in Africa. And we have not tapped into that. How do you intend, it could be to Madam Louise or you, how do you guys intend, how will you market to your audience outside or inside the country, or how do you intend to attract more of those kind of people back to Liberia?
Great question.
Well, follow us on the Marshall Beach Club Facebook page. We will be launching our website, and when we do You can book your room. But I already have people who are lining up to come because number one, they know I travel a lot. So they know, oh, it's going to be a nice place. Kathy likes nice places to go. And people from the diaspora want to come to Liberia because it's a connection between Liberia and America and the diaspora. It's a historical connection. But they are, kind of anxious about how to do it when you don't know anybody there. So Ma Louise and I have the idea of having you, as soon as you get to the airport, we're there for you. We take you from the airport. There's a lot I can say about the airport, but it's not regulated with safe travel from the airport. So we are going to pick you up. We're going to take you to the Marshall Beach Club, and we're going to take you on the tours, whether it's to the fish market or to Benson Street or to your tour to Patawi. We will take you there. We'll transport you there and back and make sure that you're safe and secure all the time that you're in Liberia, staying there. So that's some of the things that we offer that people who are anxious about coming to Liberia, a new place, they can say, okay, at least I'm going to be with them, or somebody's going to be with me as I travel throughout the country and introduce me to culture and things of that nature. When you go to Dubai, they take you on the sand, they take you to the desert, they show you how the people there on the camels, they let you ride camels, they do things like that. It's the same thing we can have in Liberia. So people are already asking me, when can I come? Quintina said, Kathy, you would be the one to bring me back to Liberia. So my family, their friends, my friends, one of my friends already got her 40-something birthday planned. The place is not, so people want to come and they want to experience what Liberia has to offer. So I don't think we're going to have a problem booking or marketing, because it's a beautiful, beautiful place with beautiful people and a beautiful culture.
Yeah. Ma Louise, would you like to do your closing? You muted, Ma Louise. We can't hear you. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Yes.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Now the question he asked, the African Americans do go to South Africa. They don't come to Liberia, which happen to be their connection in Africa. Returning to Africa, they are our cousins and uncles. But here's the thing. We created a program called Bridging the Gap Between Ourselves. That was done 2018. And since many African Americans want to come and see Liberia, for the first time, in 2022, our 200-year bicentennial, we did a huge program at the Centennial Pavilion, welcoming African American. We actually opened the program. So all of us, it is our duty to individually invite African American to Liberia, because where you live, you have African American friends. So it is all of our duty. So do something that you can invite a friend. I went to Atlanta, one guy showed to my house and said, I bought a land to Doe community. I said, what do you call Doe community? He said, the place is a swimming place by Freeport. I bought a place and I filled it up. This is an African American work in the warehouse in Atlanta, and a Liberian working in the warehouse invited him to come to Liberia. That guy bought a round trip ticket. He came here, he didn't know nobody, but he went to the shoddy place that whoever invited him, family were living. That was the Doe community. Today, that guy had put a house up. That's all of our business. All of us can do it. Together, we can bring the tourism. It does not take government to bring tourism. Thank you.
Thank you.
But Marshall Beach is number one.
I'm actually going to beg you guys to please stay. I want to take 5 calls from our audience. Nelson, if you're listening, can you come? Because people are enjoying the show. I just got a few messages that people wanted to ask you guys questions. And I also want to give credit and thanks to Salimatu. If I tell you that all of our panelists contribute to making this program a success. You won't believe me. This was a brainchild of Salimatu, who's very involved in empowering women and businesses in our country. And so thank you to Salimatu. Nelson, can you just take 5 calls from people who are interested in developing Liberia or interested in going to Liberia? Let them ask Ma, Louise, and Catherine some questions here.
Yeah, so we will go to the lines now and take the calls. So the numbers are 0777-1010-175. That's the number to call, and the folks out there can be able to make their contribution to the show here this evening on the program. Let's see if we can take the first call here. Good evening. Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Sorry, I will go contrary to the conversation.
No, you have to. Hello, you have to remain in the confines of the conversation, sir. Please.
I guess trying to say that we have a protest against the gender issue.
Okay, yeah. So let's see if we can take another person right here. Let's go to the line. Okay, hello, you're live. Good evening. Okay, we lost this person. Let's see if we can get another call coming through. Okay, hello. Good evening. Again, we lost this person. There seems to be a little bit of issue here with our line. Let's go back to this caller. Hello. Good evening. Again, we lost this person. A little bit of adjustment we'll have to make here, Dr. Richardson. There seems to be a little bit of issue here with our lines. Let me see if we can do this again. Okay. Good evening. Hello. Okay.
Nelson, thank you.
Can you open a U.S. line? Probably people in the U.S.
Yes. James, good day. If you're listening, and can you guys?
Okay, so we have this caller. Let's see if this one is going to work for us.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'm Moko Freeman. I'm calling from Upper Power.
Yeah, go ahead, Freeman.
Unfortunately, I joined your program lately, but I got interested in the lady was speaking about ecotourism and stranger coming to visit our forest. I've been engaged in such work, and I have a passion for such activities. I don't know whether I can have a contact so I can talk to her one-on-one.
Okay, thank you. So it's 0777-77-1075 or 0555-101075, and you be live. Let's see if we can take another person coming to the line. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, again, we lost this person.
Nelson, can we go to the international line and then we'll call it quit because we're having some difficulty with the line. Nelson, good day. Could you please go to the international line?
All right, I'm here. So the number is up. You can call the number. Call that number.
Okay, can we squeeze in this person, Dr. Richardson?
Good evening.
Okay, yeah, go ahead quickly. Go ahead quickly.
Good evening, Nelson.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
All right, thank you. My name is Josiah Fumo, calling from Congotown, East Island.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right. Let me say thank you to Dr. Richardson and all of you and other panelists. I listened to the lady that she served as agriculture minister at the time. She lobbied, and then she was able to get 1.5 million, and then they were able to invest.
Yeah, please. Yeah, just go straight to the point, sir, please.
All right, but then my question is, on her watch, where she took agriculture from at the time, and
information.
He's listening to different show, not agriculture.
That point.
Hello. Okay. No, I think.
Listening to different show.
No, maybe he just made a mistake. Let him finish your question.
He went off the line.
Oh.
All right, Leslie, thank you.
James, can you announce the number and welcome the callers?
Yeah, the number is on the screen. Hello.
Good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Yeah, my name is Darami Ibrahim, and I listened to your studio guest, and I'm just thinking, because I think there's a huge opportunity when I listen to Ma Lewis and Anthony Gibson. I just wanted to know, what are we doing in terms of marketing these ideas outside of Liberia? Because I worked in Rwanda, and there's a whole development board set up to market Rwanda outside that attracts a lot of investors to Rwanda, and even people who just want to come and see Rwanda. What are we doing as Liberians, to showcase this outside that will be able to entice other people to come and want to invest? Is there a business case? Is there an office set up where people who want to invest, can call and be able to get information, be a business model that will attract them to come and invest, or just to come and visit? It's quite important.
All right.
And yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Who is directing the question at? Because
to the guest.
Wait until the questions are done, and then they can respond to it, and then.
Yeah, another female was trying to call. Let me try to get her. All right, so the number is on the screen. +231 555 1111. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from?
This is James. They were calling from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I listened to you guys about investing into Liberia, but the matter of fact that I'm not concerned about those that want to go invest. They harass me, the face on our people there. Example, the West government, which was charging the government, they make the example, a construction company, construction car, non-taxable, that you can carry your paper in the country, but now you want to go invest in Liberia, most of your money want to go into transportation, and you don't tell me I want to go invest in Liberia, riding keke. No, I'm not going to be riding keke all over the city. When you're selecting the best government, a lot of people are going to go home to go invest. But when you continue selecting the wrong government, people will not want to invest. Where people can get killed on the street, people can do anything. Motorcycle, they can run you up and kill you, nothing can out of here. Nobody want to go invest in that kind of terrible country. So when you're talking about investment, you're talking about security first.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello. Hello. Your name?
TV?
Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
Boyman Blake calling into the show.
Okay, Mr. Blake, go ahead.
U.S.
Go ahead.
Hey, Kat. Hi, Miss Louise. To the panelists, wonderful, wonderful show. Kathy, congrats. I don't know how much more praises to give you. It's a joy when our children and our bloodline decide to come back home and invest, in the motherland. A lot of what I've listened to has been wonderful. Eram, I heard what you said. I will get back to you later. Anyway, but really, it's been a great show. I'd like to stress upon all that we discussed. All of this can be advanced if we lay more emphasis on the strength of local governments. Because a lot of the things that we do in terms of tourism, whether it has to do with customer service, whether it has to do with local policies, some of the things that we do, how we treat our guests, how we grow as a society, all of these things have to do with understanding, who runs these things, So, Kat, I'm happy you've done well. We look forward to opening your doors next year.
All right, thank you. So the number, somebody saying I should read it for visually impaired people. The number is +231 555 1111 99. +231 555 1111 99. And don't call direct. If you call direct, you're not going to get that number. You can only call that number on WhatsApp. That number is way in Liberia. You're not going to get it. So call that number on WhatsApp.
James, about 2 more calls, and then we'll just turn our attention.
Yeah, how are you? Your name and where you calling from?
Anthony Tommy calling from Rwanda, Kigali, to be specific.
Okay, speak
I
to the
would
issue.
like to say thank you to our panelists, including the guests. If we look at the tourism sector in Liberia, it is very frustrating. As a student reading environmental science and natural resources management, it is very discouraging simply because. Hello.
Stop listening.
All right, you're listening to another. Hello. Hello. Sorry, let me get this caller.
Okay, one more caller. Good day if we can. If not, we can turn our attention.
All right, hello. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Cousin Calvin calling from Canada.
All right, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, please do while you monitor. Please do while you monitor.
I'm Cousin Calvin calling from Canada.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to say thanks to your panelists.
Please do while you monitor. If you're getting us, you're not going to make your point. There's going to be interruption. Hello?
Good morning. I'm calling from Minnesota. I think there's a caller who called earlier, and he stressed about the security in the country. I think I'm personally, I'm an investor into the country, and I have failed on 3 occasions try to invest in other people, other nationals to Liberia. And the one question they ask me, and I always feel that question, is the security of the country.
Okay.
How safe is the country for them to come and invest? And I can't even answer that question. It's sad, bro.
All
Very
right.
sad for us.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Our attorney Catherine Gibson and Ma Louise, you heard the questions. I don't know if there's any one of them you'd like to particularly respond to, and then the other ones you can probably marinate and come back. We definitely will have you guys back here. This is such an important conversation. I really enjoyed it, and our audience, I'm hearing a lot of feedback from the audience that state that they really enjoy the show. So please, maybe 1 minute, Catherine, and 1 minute, Ma Louise, for both of you to
answer because I didn't hear none of the question.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay, Ma Louise. But then we'll just like Catherine, if there's anything you want to say before we turn our attention and let you guys graciously depart.
Yes, I want to say that I heard questions about safety and security and comments about water and electricity. And yes, those things need to be fixed, but you cannot wait for perfect conditions in order to move forward with what you need to do. You have to be the change that you want to see. You're not going to, if in fact the water was running, the electricity was there, all the safety was there, the country will already be developed. You will be late to the game. So you need to come in now and do what you can do with what you have, and not worry so much about how all these things are going to fix themselves, because I'm hopeful that you all have an election coming up, that you will weigh your options and vote for someone who wants to invest in small businesses and who believes in what small businesses can do to push our country forward. I cannot vote, so you all have to vote for me to vote for the conditions that you want to see. But we're not going to wait for everything to be perfect. We're going to do what we can do and be the change that we want to see in the community. So I would be remiss if I didn't shout out my girl, Charlene Carey, and Corey, he's watching. Hello to everyone. Thank you so much for having me on Spoon. Thank Dr. Richardson for empowering women. I'm very proud to be here, to see you, to see Salamatu. Love to hear your voices. Thank you, Fadiga. Thank you, Colonel Gray, for having us. And you all visit us at Marshall Beach Club on Facebook. Follow our progress. And when we launch our website, come join us at the Marshall Beach Club, have a drink, have some food, that tteokbokki that Colonel Gray and I love so much. We will welcome you with open arms.
Thank you.
Do you sell membership to the beach club?
Yes. So if you're local and you want that feeling of pampering while you're getting your shave or your haircut, you can be a part of our club. You can have your business meetings there. You can have your lunches. You can rent space for your affairs if you're a club member.
I'm sure all of those will be carried on the website. Of
Yes.
course, that I can be here and procure my membership. I love membership.
Yes. We're going to have members of the beach club where you will, be treated, especially when you walk in, we will say, "Hi, Colonel Gray, here's your table." That's the kind of service we want to see in Liberia, and we can do it. So we're looking forward to pampering everyone at the Marshall Beach Club.
Please train those people to be good customer service agents.
Definitely.
It's lagging in Liberia, customer service.
That's I agree.
Thank you, Attorney Catherine Gibson and Ma Louise, for making this show very historical. There were more women on the screen than men were. Thank you again to Salamatu for your contribution to the show. And we're going to just ask that we'll ask you guys to just leave us as we transition to.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Charlene Carey. That's my girl, for a great recommendation.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we definitely would look forward to getting more information. They will definitely be back here.
Ma Louise was about to say something. She's still there.
Ma Louise want to talk. Ma Louise want to talk.
Yo, please give her 1 second, man.
Ma Louise, can you hear us, Ma Louise?
I think the internet.
Yeah, I can hear you now, but I think I went off for a little bit.
Yeah. So it's just, we are transitioning now to another segment of the program. We had just sort of just ended this section, except you have one last word to tell us, Liberians, or to speak to your fellow Liberians.
What a challenge.
Oh, yeah. Ma Louise, okay. I think we're having some challenges here, but we're going to transition to another aspect of this show.
Dr. Richardson, can I say something? Because
yes, please. Please go ahead.
Yeah, one, when I think all of us, anyway, we have this habit of calling out certain nationals foreign nationals when we're talking. I don't think we mean any harm, but I think we should all be careful as we calling them out, the Indian, the Lebanese, the Chinese. I'm guilty for doing it a lot of times, and grouping them all in one category, because most of us have survived as foreigners in other countries, where we're asking other countries to give us citizenship to allow us to live freely, to do business. And I think, when we start talking about Liberia, we just need to kind of be careful how we group them. We group other people. We got bad ones, we got good ones who are investing. The other thing is people are asking, how do they find information about investing in Liberia? We have the National Investment Commission. They have a great website. You can go there, NIC. There's also information with the Liberian Tourism Association. The current president is Ms. May Yuri, and she's excellent. One of the few women in Liberia that I would say, she gets stuff done. She's running the Tourism Association right now. And also there are lots of information on the internet with the IFC, the World Bank, USAID. There's a lot of reports on there. So if you're thinking about going to Liberia to invest, you can do your research by going to some of the government website, even Ministry of Commerce and Industry. They do have a lot of information on there. Go to the website, do your research. Liberia is a country that is recovering. We're still recovering from over 25 years of instability. So you're not going into a country where everything is perfect. You have to go in there. People will juke finger in your eye And that's the only way we'll be able to even fix the finger juki. We take care of the finger juka stand. When you go there, you jump inside. When you jump inside, you get frustrated, then you help fix the system. But to sit on the sideline and for us to continuously complain about government, the good Lord not coming down from the sky to help Liberia. We can pray and we'll get directions, and we can go in and hold our government accountable constructively. So I finish.
Thank you very much. So we're gonna just to speak briefly to you. We're gonna be ending the show a little earlier today. Except well, I know Sadamatu. Actually, Sadamatu, I can allow you. I have to leave. So if you want to moderate.
No, moderator. That's 6 o'clock coming. That's okay.
I know it's about 6 o'clock coming, right?
6 o'clock coming.
I know. So, but anyway, I just want to give you guys.
6 o'clock is fine. We had a busy week.
Yeah.
This week we're full of all kinds of drama. I think we all kind of need to sit down, rest it out, and get back on Monday. Monday will be juicy. We got plenty of juicy things. Okay, for
easy. Thank you very much. So I just want you guys then to just move forward into some of your closing comments and things that you're going to look forward to discussing for next week.
Yeah. Things that are on my mind, man. Those voter registration, we need to pay keen attention to voter registration. CDC have a strategy. It's so good. They are so poorly coordinated. I won't say poorly coordinated, but the mouth can run too much, and we get kind of hearing what is going on. These guys have a plan. I think they are targeting younger and new first-time voters. And not necessarily is it a bad thing, but when you start bringing underage children and teaching them that early, when I saw some of the photos and when people started to show me some of the things, it reminded me of the Civil War, where we started recruiting children as child soldiers. This time it's not like they don't have the gun, but they are weaponizing them to destroy our democracy. So it's like they are still using them as child soldiers because they are innocent. And the first shot to democracy will kind of pollute in the mind. And if that's what they are doing, we have not been, for me, I personally have not been able to authenticate the ages because Liberia is so backward. It's not even funny. What country that you cannot even identify your own citizen? You don't even know who Liberian, who not Liberian. You can't even know. There is no mechanism in play whatsoever besides you Flomo, you from Lofa, you Collie, you from this, you Western guy, you from Bikeno. There needs to be a better way to do things. That's one. The next thing is the opposition unity. I don't know how they intend to win this election, but I think the opposition need to get their act together. I don't care how they do it, they need to get their act together. If we do not get our act together, at the end of the day, come January, we'll be squashing our head. I can't overstate it. I cannot even say any less. January, we'll be saying now and wondering what happened. And what happened was people that decided to put their ego above national interest. Look, the older generation, I said this election will be the last time we'll see the Ellen generation. I don't think we want to see anybody from that generation in the next 6 years. Most of them will probably be retired now, really retired. So how can we prepare on Liberia that will safely be turned over to the younger generation? So what kind of Liberia do we want? Will we give it to these guys that are proven to be very irresponsible with governance? Are we going to give it to them and leave it with them for the next 6 years? No. People need to start looking at the bigger picture. And I just pray that we'll look at that.
Thank you, Fadiga. Remy Gray, your closing comments, and then we'll go to Salamatu, and then I'll just say a few words, and then we'll just tell our guests goodbye.
I think if democracy is one of the carnal sanctity of our survivors as a people, I think we have not done well in sustaining it, especially in Liberia. I don't think these elections, from what we've seen so far, is on a good footing. I think we started falsely. We made some claims that we were not able to keep. You cannot say biometrics when it is not biometrics. You cannot say this is the way we intend to secure our database, we've cleaned it, and so on and so forth, when you've not. My own observation here is I don't see October feasible. I think we should begin to think of putting a pause to the process until we can really fix the system and the way it's supposed to be run. Otherwise, and that is not to say we'll keep the government in power one day beyond October or one day beyond their constitutional role. If we get to that point and we still have not been able to get things right, I think we should begin to think of a temporary interim government until we can get our acts together. It's not uncommon. It's better than for us to think that we're making progress, then we chakla everything again. We start going back to the point, to the starting point. I know most people don't want to hear those kind of things, but there are so many bad things that have happened in the advent of this entire elections. If you go back and look, those are the things that it was just, I think, about 100 or 200 days to Samuel Doe's end of his official term as president, quote unquote. People did not sum up the courage to say, you know what, let's have patience until we get there. That's how soon Liberian the Liberian people can run out of patience. This government is thinking that no matter what, we are bound to go to election, whether or not the process is wholesome or straight. They don't care. They will continue to bend the rules, bring children to vote. People having 2 or 3 different voting cards because they know they'll get about it. People who are not playing by the rules, they don't care how they will do it, but they will cheat if they want to. I believe the process has not gone right. So therefore, we should put a pause, go back to the drawing table, try to see if we can fix the way we register, and we register truthfully so that when we say we have a government, that government will be by the people, for the people, not just a group of people who want to be there for themselves and themselves. So that's all I have to say for now. But to say the truth, I enjoy the guests and hope we'll find these kinds of guests that will come and talk away from our Liberian politics a little bit. It's hard to discuss those kinds of national endeavors and you don't include politics. It's difficult, but
Yeah.
I think they stay their course, especially Masiawe and the attorney there, Gibson. They were on top of the money, and I was sitting there the entire day listening to people talking about culture.
Thank you.
We were waiting for that. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much. You are breaking in, Remy Gray. We didn't hear what you said lastly. Your last words were coming in and out, but if we'll move to
No, I was just saying that we didn't get to the solid part with those beautiful women, in their regalia, dancing, all those things. Those are things that bring people closer.
Oh yes, definitely. I look forward to bringing them back again to follow. We want to follow the progress here. Sadamatu, please give us your closing.
Okay. So I want to just kind of thank Patrick Kennedy, Jonathan Pablo, Ernest Duyan, Winfrey Russell, for, sometimes I'm in a comment, like having conversation, answering question. And I like the exchange between, what was happening. There was no cussing, just people disagreeing, but, coming to terms that the bottom line is we need to hold our government accountable in a constructive manner. And, bad governance is just pretty much when government don't want to do their responsibilities. And the more we see this happening and we don't hold them accountable, it will continue to break down every system in Liberia. And we will continue to ask the question, but why can't people come to Liberia? And somebody will say, oh, but the security. Why can't people invest in Liberia? oh, but you know what, the environment isn't just good. It starts with the government being able to make sure that the ground is an enabling ground for people to be able to come and do business. That's their responsibility. That's their job. Irene McGray mentioned acts. There were acts to decentralize the government. I saw the act. There was an act to separate the Ministry of Information and Tourism. I saw that act. There was a food and safety law that I was very, very instrumental in trying to get it drafted and for the legislature to pass it. And let me tell you, that was the first time I saw how trying to get something passed in Liberia work. And I just couldn't understand why people were even questioning or trying to get something out of a food act. We had an act before. It was just kind of let's amend it, let's make it more modern. Because at this point, we didn't know, and don't laugh, we didn't know if dog that were food or pet, those kind of little things that we still let clean it up, and people were just kind of very nonchalant about it. No, I'm just saying, you in different country, you gotta distinguish if food are pet or a dog, food are pet or a meal. Yeah, but it was so sad that as we were running behind this, we just kept asking ourselves, like, but wait a minute, food affect everybody. This lawyer should be one of the easiest things for the legislature to just go and go pass. Till today, I don't even know if they're not pass it, they ain't pass it. But I say that to say there are a lot of good writing on paper in Liberia. It's all over the place. We have the policies. The problem is implementation. The problem is we get tired sometimes and we don't want to run after some of these things. And then, in the long run, it ends up hitting us where it hurts. But beautiful country, beautiful people. I also say that, when we talk about tourism, Liberia really should be the Vegas of West Africa or the Vegas of Africa, because the people are hospitable. We are very friendly to foreigners. We are foreign friendly, set of people. No matter what thing we're doing with each other, we are very, very friendly, foreign friendly. But so we need to start tapping into some of those things that will generate money in order to do the bigger things. And quickly before I go, as we went into the Sapo National Park, who are complaining about the rule? Not the foreigners who are with us. We, the Liberians, were complaining, how the road pump so for them, it was an adventurous tourism. This was something they didn't have in their home. And their thinking is, what would make me that have running water light in my house in California go to Liberia? What will bring me there? It's the adventure. So there are things that we can look at, we can market without, that doesn't cost a lot of money, but it takes passion. There's a lot of willpower, and for us to check our government when they start to behave badly.
Yes, thank you. So and I'm going to close. You reminded me in June, I believe, I took my American mom to Liberia, and we went to this very, very distant part in Nimba, and it was completely driving in bumpy, horrible road. And she was like, "Oh, this is off-road driving." She got so excited. We were complaining. That was me and my 3 girlfriends in the car, Liberians. And she was like, "Oh, this is exciting." I was really concerned about, "Mom, you okay? You okay?" She said, "Oh, this is off-road driving." I'm like, "Okay." But anyway, we just want to tell you guys that our country is beautiful. And when we come here every day, we contribute to making sure that one day you in Liberia or the generation to come will enjoy the beauty that we know and feel and love so much. I want to thank you, Anthony and Catherine Gibson, for your hard work and for not even being born in Liberia, but yet and still you are making some very good hard sacrifices to make Liberia beautiful. I want to thank you, Man Louise, for being here. I really enjoyed you, Man Louise. You have a wealth of history about our country that we can even spend some time having you here to educate us about, some of our artifacts, some of the beautiful places. I heard you say Maryland when you were describing, like, oh my God, somewhere I need to go to. I want to thank all of those investors who perhaps you're not here or who didn't call your name, but you are braving the storm despite all of the challenges. People are saying so many things about, the security and, not enough water and stuff, but you are taking the step to be there first. Monday, we'll be back here with all of the news that's going on in Liberia. There's a lot of news going on. We are hearing that JMB will be selecting his vice presidential candidate. We don't know if it's going to be Kuhn. We don't know if it's going to be Yombly. We don't know if it's going to be Costa. So join us where you can get all of the news that you need to know to make informed decisions in Liberia. This is the only station that I know of that you can come and get the facts. We get it firsthand and we present it to you. So thank you very much. I will be seeing you shortly. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Salamatu, for this show.
Bye.
Thank you, Remy Gray.
I wish you bring Fatu Geflo here one day.
Fatu Geflo?
Yes. Salamatu should contact her, man.
Yeah, Fatu Geflo.
Yeah, let's bring her on. She's a good person to talk about culture.
Well, facts and all of that stuff as well. Yeah. Okay, good music too. All right, we'll explore that. Thank you very much, Nelson. And
have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Well, folks, we want to say thanks a lot to all of you out there for making your contributions tonight on the program Spoon Talk. Thanks for following. Thanks to those of you who tried but couldn't make it through the lines, especially on our local lines. My name is Nelson Cole and James Gute Flomo here. The invitation is yours to join us on Monday for another fascinating Spoon Talk. Until that time, have for yourselves a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Decision just to spoon.